me say good morning to my listeners. Those of you listening Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Those of you viewing GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11 or Channels 20. Good Thursday morning to you. It's the 16th day of November within the year 2023. How's everyone doing this morning? Let me say good morning to my listeners and viewers via social media platforms, the YouTube channels, of course, the Facebook page. Good morning to you. Those of you also viewing and listening via GBN's webpage, gbn.gd. Good morning to you. Hope all is well and you're having a great day thus far. Started off a bit of a rainy morning, and that may have subsided a little bit in some neck of the woods, I'm assuming. I haven't been out here in the last 45 minutes or so I'm not sure what it's like on the outdoors for now. Hey folks, usually on Thursdays we do entertain departments within the Royal Grenadier Police Force, and haven't seen a rep popped in as yet. Haven't seen anyone popped in as yet, of course, as a representative from the various departments. So I actually gave them a couple of minutes before I actually started the show, but I haven't seen anyone popped in as yet. So we may have to divert this morning to open line once again, 435-2041, 435-2041, giving you listeners and viewers all the opportunity to call in, share your views and concerns when it relates to issues that are of concern to you. Feel free to do so. I beg of you to keep your comments short. Whatever device in the background, whether it's your television or radio, please turn them off when you're about to call in. That will, of course, eliminate any feedback that we will experience when your radios or televisions are turned up. All right, I will certainly hear you and you will hear me via the telephone. All right, let's entertain our very first caller this morning. Let's see who's on the line. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning, GT, and to your listeners and viewers on this rainy, kind of damp, darkish looking day.
All right.
Nonetheless, let's make it lighted by a live conversation we could have during the next almost 60 minutes.
Sure, true. Go right ahead.
My contribution this morning begins with congratulating the government of Belize on the brave stand taken against the state of Israel, on Israel's murderous activities in Palestine. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I want to use your platform to urge people, one and all, to come down on Monday. Join us at 9 o'clock at the Cameron Park for a march from Cameron Park to the U.S. Embassy, where a letter will be delivered to the U.S. The ambassador. So please show your concern for other human beings who have been massacred without care in that part of the world. So hands up for the Belizean government. And I hope that even our government and other governments of the Caribbean would step up. I mean, one has to stand in the moment of as Martin Luther said something to the effect that it's not when you are not challenged, you can make nice statements. It's when you are in difficulty, when the chips are against you, and the chips are against humanity right now, in which is what is being done to the people of Palestine, and what is done to one set of human beings is done to all human beings. So I hope that people could put aside their biases and so on and come join us, those Grenadians for Justice, on Monday. Thank you, and for giving me the opportunity to give that announcement. But at the same time, I want to refer to a comment somebody made the other day, I think on your program or the earlier program, related to climate, to the effect of the production of goods, of agricultural produce as a result of the change in climate. I think this is something, and you might remember, I have been championing the cause for us to take climate change much more serious, not just talking, but look at the various areas that are impacting our life. It's the heat is impacting our health, it's impacting the food and animals, the environment, and also when the rain comes, as a brother in Kenya said the other day, drought, they die when the drought is there, and when the rain comes again, they die still, because we don't really pay particular attention to how we prepare for the various changes as life and nature unfold. So I think that the fact that we're going to be affected in terms of production of food, we need to pay close attention from now although we have dropped the ball in the past, but we could begin, and we need to operate as if we are in crisis. Not in terms of some anxiety, but crisis, especially when we think about the future. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution this morning and getting the ball rolling. 445-2041, open line this morning. Feel free to give me that call and express your views and concern of issues that may be of concern to you. We back to the phone line, entertain another caller this morning. Caller, good morning. You're welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Guess there's no one there. Let's move on. 445-2041. Feel free to give me that call. You could also send me messages via the WhatsApp using the same number. Add it to your WhatsApp contact, 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's see if we do have a caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Yeah, GT, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning. So this first caller, right, he mentioned that he wants people come down to come on Park and to have a march U.S. Embassy. You know, to my opinion, that's not looking right. When we had our invasion scene with the United States and them, these white countries, they never come in and say anything. So why we Negro people have to go on demonstrate and put placards for these people and them? And that would be bad for Grenadians going in front of U.S. Embassy with placards. A lot of Grenadians go to the States. That looking as a stain for us. What happened to this guy? He's sick or what? Why you don't keep telling people business? I'm advising Grenadians Monday, go to your work. You got to get anything in the supermarket, you get it or go home. Forget this marching thing, man. Anyhow, that's all I have to say, sir.
Thank you, caller. Have a good morning.
Thank you so much.
Have a good morning. 435-2041. Open line this morning, and you have the opportunity to call in and share your views and concerns this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
A lot of words are being used nowadays, new words, and I myself do not understand or have a concept of this, a big concept of these words. For example, the word cyber. I think it's a modern word, and as far as I'm concerned, when certain people are talking about cyber happenings, they should be able to explain it so that me and others like me should have a great concept of the word cyber. And I think it's time that people who are being placed to carry out certain occurrence or certain works should explain to the public when they come on the air what you mean by cyber. There are a lot of people have been placed to carry out measures to prevent cyber occurring in Greenland and other parts of the world. And I want them to explain to me and others like me, innocent people like me, the meaning of the word cyber, so that I might be able to protect myself against cyber occurrences with me. In fact, I think a lot of people have been having the experience with certain institutions in Greenland in connection with this cyber business. So if you can get somebody to come and talk about cyber, then it might be a very, very good thing, which would increase the knowledge and the skill, not so much the skill, but the knowledge of people in Grenada, so that they could protect themselves from cyber occurrences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution also. And it's always that easy to look up the meaning of cyber. And it's also relating to, of course, or to involving computers or computer networks such as the internet, and how to use cyber. And that's how one of the ways you can think of cyber for one reason or one way or the other. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. So before you continue,
yes.
please turn your radio down.
I have two concerns. First one is that those big truck drivers, they drive the road and the road like if them alone and own the road. They does not have respect for the other road users. They do all sort of silly things on the road. Sometimes I had a problem last week. I was traveling through, I think, Montparnasse, and they come in a big truck, and the road Montparnasse road a bit narrow. But I have to almost go down the drain, you know, how to escape accident. I have children aboard a small bus, and it seems like nothing happened to them. They just gone away and almost run off the road completely. That's the thing. I think the police should really check on these guys, and what did you do every 6 months? Have a test for them, a literal test, not go down the road, but the 9 tests, even know the rules and the laws of the road, are what you call the highway code, because they don't operate like that. And then the buses on the road, the buses doing all sort of like evil things on the road. They're doing things that I don't know if they think that they're doing what is right. I don't know these guys who driving buses if they think what they're doing is right, but they're doing a lot of things that disturb people. And one more thing I want to say too, we're looking at our country. I was looking at some of the guys who do all this kind of theater work. You know, these playwrights like Chris Derricks and how you name. They need some sort of a support in these areas. They do a lot of it. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing to playwright and to act it out in a theater. It's pretty expensive.
Right.
I'm watching the government could just look in somewhere they could establish a place so they don't have to pay this big set of rent for other places to have these shows and things like that. So it's a matter of relief stress for other people. Because when they put in these programs, you learn things and you let go a lot of steam and things, but it's difficult for them to when they have to put all this amount of money to do all these amount of things. And I think that the corporate citizens, like the private sectors, could even come in and help these guys. Then you'll see a lot more, because you have a lot of young people in there that have all these talents, They have a lot of talents to them, but they need the help so they can showcase the talent that they have. Is what I have to say this morning.
Thank you for your contribution, caller. Thank you so much. We drew for a break. Let's take that break, and when we return, we certainly entertain more of your callers. I'm getting the impression my guest should be with us this morning. So during the break, we'll see if that comes through. I was getting an indication that someone is here. So let's take that break and see what happens. We're coming right back. Stay with us.
For a limited time, the NLA has dropped all of the 2x boards from the multi-X draw. This means that you, our valuable players, have greater chances of multiplying your winnings up to 5 times more in our 2x drop promotion. Yay! And that's not all. As an additional bonus, there will be fewer free play or FP boards to draw from too. Now you have more reasons to add multi-X to your playway bets. So, value your dreams, win your way, and multiply your winnings up to 5 times more in the NLA's 2X Dropped promotion. This promotion is extended to Monday, the 20th of November, 2023. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number 1. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, here to Classic Radio, GBN TV. It's to the point for today, Thursday, the 16th of November. And joining me this morning, we have Corporal Wickham with me this morning. And, of course, I mentioned we usually entertain the members of the departments of the Royal Grenada Police Force. And a bit late this morning, but they say better late than never, right?
Yeah, of course.
Better late than never. And Corporal Wickham is with the CID and this morning. And our conversation this morning that we're going to be chatting about is certainly going to be maximizing safety for homes and businesses. Yeah, all right. Now, to kick the conversation off, because I actually started off again. I see my phones are going, but I'll probably leave the phones for a later part of the conversation this morning. You know, we getting into the festive season, and it's not only the festive season, but it's year round that some folks and individuals for their homes, businesses should pay that attention on maximizing their safety. But as we getting to the festive season as well, it's the time of the year, and you know that probably you may have to put a little more energy into than usual.
Yes.
Put a little more energy in terms of making sure your property, your personal belongings and so forth are put away properly, because for some reason there are individuals who may just want to prey on you for whatever reason. Let's kick it off with some pointers this morning that folks to be aware of, in terms of maximizing their safety, especially for their homes and businesses. If you can kick it off like that.
First and foremost, actually, property crime, or housebreaking and stealing, burglary and so forth, as well as businesses being affected by similar offenses. The reality is this has been one of the most prominent offense that we face with, and it calls for a lot of concern. It is necessary that persons play an integral role in assisting the police in minimizing this type of offenses, and particularly by applying some of those measures that we're going to share and entertain this morning. This would definitely help safeguard persons from being victim of various offenses, and it also would assist law enforcement in the event that those offenses are committed. It would assist us in having speedy and proper investigation, which could actually lead to conviction and so forth, having persons properly held accountable for their general conduct. Now, to first identify some of the safety measures, you must first know what the shortcomings are.
Yeah.
And with respect to the homes, in particular, generally you find most homes are not fenced and so forth. So that by itself, it have easy access. Now there are a number of vulnerabilities, and with the vulnerability, it creates a risk in essence, and that risk basically factors in the opportunity or cause that home or business to become a target in essence. And with that being present, the opportunity being present, it would basically attract persons of criminal mind to get involved in that criminal conduct on that particular property. Now, with that being said, some of the factors that we must consider as weaknesses or vulnerabilities are: one, little or no lighting. So quite often you find businesses are closed and there's absolutely no light within the general premises. Homes, persons may go out at night and leave their home in complete darkness. Light generally acts as a deterrent, because persons don't want to be seen when in commission of these offenses. So the reality is light acts as a deterrent. In addition to that, as I mentioned, fencing, not being erected in various properties. You may have instances where you don't have gates or you don't have proper locks on your property. Sometimes even if there are locks and so forth, it is not in effect. When you look at these things, these are a number of factors that basically attract persons. So you may find criminals going around late in the night, even in the town of St. George's, and they may test certain doors, even vehicles. They would just check the lock. Now, if it is locked, that by itself may cause them to continue along the way. Yeah. Now, if it is open, the opportunity presents itself. So that's where you see a prime example of an opportunity. The risk exists, or the vulnerability is that it wasn't locked.
All right.
It creates the opportunity. It entices the criminal mind.
All right.
Because the opportunity is available.
All right.
Now, if it is locked, it acts as a deterrent. So these are some of the things that, actually exist out there. Now, one of the reports we received recently, and you see these things happening from time to time, whereby homeowners, they have their shops and so on, which is right next to the house or attached to the house. And because it is a safe haven, they feel it's okay to leave their shop unlocked. That by itself, you may have the level of comfort because it is right in your yard, but it is a bit negligent to do so, because as recent as last week, we had a break-in in progress. Mm. You could actually stand and touch the house and the shop. And we met the occupant outside, who was waiting on the occupant of the home, the owner. And on arrival, the burglar was actually inside the shop. Yeah. So just imagine, because of how close you feel it is okay, and you gain comfort in that, but is that the best practice? You have valuables, secure your valuables properly. In addition to that, you have persons brandishing valuable items. So you may have large sums of cash, and in the public, on the block, you expressing, certain things and, displaying that large sum of cash. That by itself, basically, play with the criminal mind. All right. You're seen doing these things, or you go shopping and you take out large sums of cash from your purse, and basically that by itself again creates that opportunity. So it creates that opportunity. You're being followed for a dismal area or street, and you may be attacked. So these are some of the basic things. Some happen in person, some may happen at business places or at home. I just decided to touch a little as to some of the things that may happen even on the street, with respect to the season coming up as well. But
one of my questions I want to ask you, because there's as the festive season, and even not even the festive season, but year round, there's always ways that individuals can boost their home security. What are some of those ways that individual can boost their home security or businesses?
Well, firstly, simple. Yeah. One, you look back at vulnerabilities. Mm. So, having looked at the vulnerability, you put things in place to curb, or to maximize, or as we call it, target hardening. Now, you put proper light. Security comes with a cost. Yes, it would cost you a little bit more, but the reality is, it saves you a lot more. Yeah. It saves you a lot of discomfort. It'll save you a lot of fear to crime. It saves you loss of property, damage to property. It saves you of so many different things. Some folks would say it pays off in the long run. It pays off in the long run. Yeah. Now, to run, you may not need to keep all your lights on, but there are some strategic areas in your house you may need to keep a light on. Give persons that idea that, hey, there are persons at home. Yeah. It's important. It acts as a serious deterrent. In addition to that, you utilize proper locks, proper chain, proper gates. Persons have valuable items, and the reality is, as stated earlier, you don't have proper locks and security measures around to really keep these things safe. So the same shortcomings, the same vulnerabilities, you just apply the appropriate measure to ensure that these things are in effect. Surveillance. Surveillance is a key thing. Yes. Especially now. Criminals are graduating every day. They sit, they go to court, they listen the points to prove the offenses. They understand identification is a key factor. So what happens now? A lot of the crime, they cover their faces. Yeah. Now, surveillance would help. And let me show you this. Persons have surveillance inside their home or inside their business place and in front of their doorway. A lot of the times, they don't cover strategic areas as to the general outskirt of the business or the home. Now, or even the pathway leading to the home. Capture the road, capture the sidewalk. Now, what is the likelihood of a man having to walk 100 meters with a mask in his face going to a home. That's he may not do that. He may wait until firstly he would have assessed the home, he would have assessed the business. He know that there's a camera right in front of the door. He takes his time, he walk forward as normal, and when he get to that strategic point of entry, he puts on his mask. He he commits his crime. Yes, you have surveillance capturing everything, but he has on a mask. Now
that's where it comes in, that people need to put their cameras in less noticeable areas.
Yes, that's been a factor. In addition to inside the premises and your entry area as to the door, you can capture the street. Because when it is seen, especially the ones capturing the street, when that is seen, that is a deterrent.
Because you have been seen from a distance.
You've been seen from a distance. So it's like, here, what? Let me don't even go to that. Now, in the event that they didn't see it, then they commit the crime. All we need to do is check the one that captures the street. We see who put on the mask before they enter the compound. So you see that by itself, we automatically see the end result in terms of a successful investigation and prosecution right there. Now, also, what we would have encountered a lot, on the contrary, is that persons have surveillance cameras and so forth installed, but they're not in effect. So the offenses are being committed. And when we get on the ground, we assess everything, and we're like, yes, excellent. We have cameras. That helps.
It's not working.
And then only to be disappointed with the fact that they're not in effect. So we admonish persons to ensure that those things are in effect. And you can have it hooked up to your phones. So, remotely you can pay attention to those your property periodically and so forth. And in addition to that, alarm systems, be it window entry or entry at your main door, you have burglar alarms. And having those things in effect, wherever you are, it alerts you. Immediately, you make a call, you contact the nearest police station, 911, fastest route, and you relay the information. Something like that. You get a call to respond to a break-in effect, a burglary in effect. Now, there's a greater chance of these matters being solved right there and then, because the likelihood is that you may catch that person in the act. But when you don't have some of this mechanism in place, and you get to know after the fact, then the investigators have to cultivate suspects, look at trends and typologies and so on that happen within that general criminal conduct, and look at who are the likely guys to commit these type of offenses in these particular areas. They would gain entry only through windows, or they would break the doors, or they would drill and push back the locks. Different persons have different ammo, so we would categorize persons based on their style as well. So the fact is, when these things are not in effect, it causes the process of investigation to be a bit more tedious, a bit longer. We have to pick up various persons and assess all the facts, and have them being interviewed and all those things, and to make a proper judgment or conclusion as to who is in fact responsible. But these factors being implemented, certainly it would assist the investigation. It would act as a deterrent. And one of the key things, I should mention, in fact, one, these offenses, this criminal conduct can have several major outcomes. However, some that stands out and is critical that we minimize these offenses because of how serious these outcomes can be, how it can affect the people. One, serious damage to property. So someone breaks into a business place or a home. Based on the general ammo, they may vandalize items within the home inside the business in the process of stealing. So damage to property. You may have the loss of property. So when they actually remove the whatever valuable items from the property, So whatever properties, but smaller items or assets, whatever it is you have within, be it jewelry, etc. Other items that are resellable, you may have tools, and all these different things. They may remove these things, so you have stealing, where you lose these items. In addition to that, if you're being met inside the property, what is the likelihood? The likelihood is that there may be a confrontation.
Yes.
That confrontation can lead to serious bodily harm.
I guess individuals want to defend themselves also.
Exactly. In addition to that, the worst case scenario, it can lead to death.
Yeah.
It can lead to a murder. This person would fight the very best to ensure that the name is not called, to ensure that they're not exposed, not even paying attention to the fact that they're only getting into a worse situation.
Understandably.
They just want a way out, so they may fight, lead to death, lead to a murder. Now, that's the worst case scenario. In addition, you may look at the fear of crime. So just imagine your family having to experience something like that. The trauma, you have kids, you have a wife. Think about that. How are they going to be sleeping comfortable? It's automatic that this will have grave effect on them. Think about your neighbor. Your neighbor experienced this, another neighbor experienced it. Now you're wondering when it's going to be your home.
So true.
And you have that discomfort within the community. And you're basically mentally affected, psychologically you're just unstable, you're stressed out, you can't rest properly, and it affects your general way of life. You're afraid to leave your home. In fact, you're even afraid to stay in your home. Yeah. So it just caused that chaos in your way of life, and that's how serious it can get. Sure. Notwithstanding that, though, I want all the criminals to know that we're not going to take it lightly.
Yeah.
The commissioner will not take it lightly. And functioning under his authority, we law enforcement on a whole would not take it lightly. We'll go all out. We never close a case except all possible avenues are exhausted. So that person just have to pray that when they commit these offenses, we exhaust all avenues. All right. And we're left to that point where we can't do anything again. Right. But I guarantee you, and I guarantee to them that most of the time we're going to be successful.
Be good. So in a nutshell, you're saying, with all that have been said, investing in technology can certainly help you of course, in finding that culprit who tried to prey on you. It would also help the authorities in terms of, speedy obtaining or recovering what losses you may have occurred because, the individual may have been seen because of the use of technology. Of course, Corporal, of course, we can wait you for a break. Let's take it. We come back, we should chat some more. I do have a couple more questions I want to ask, but wait you for a break. Let's take it. And when we come back, we should chat some more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio. We'll be right back.
You mentioned the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Whoa, whoa. Rock the box, we say, yeah. GBN, we say, arts and culture living, yeah. Rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. I'm telling you, rock the box, rock the box, rock the box, we say. We'll be jamming here on a Thursday.
On this episode of Caribbean Passport TV, we travel to St. Kitts and Nevis, visit a cocoa estate in Trinidad and Tobago, and listen to some steel pan music. And then we'll wind down with some paintings, right here on this station.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, to The Point for today, Thursday, the 16th day of November. Welcome back, Corporal, of course, Wickham. Corporal Wickham, a question I want. You did touch on it a wee bit in the earlier statements you were making. Now, the dangers of exposure. Because, you know, folks, they walk around with jewelry in certain areas. They go to events and they have jewelry exposing money and stuff like that. Give us some tips that you would like to give to our listener viewing audience this morning about the do's and don'ts of that could, of course, hinder their safety also, because now someone's seeing you with the amount of jewelry that you wear, the amount of money that you flashes, as you would say locally, just layman's talk. What are some of the tips you would like to share with an individual in terms of to deter individuals from wanting to prey on you because of they see you and I say the dangers of exposing things of that nature?
Well, firstly, the danger is there. It's getting worse because now you see a lot more persons are, as we call it, stealing from a person, or robbery, violence, and so forth. We see a lot more of that now. Persons should be mindful as to how much funds they work with. Based on the errands you're running, based on the business you're about to engage in, you should know what amount of monies you need. So, firstly, work with monies that a quantity that you know you're going to need. Persons work with, huge amount of cash, and the reality is they don't actually need that amount of monies in that particular event, that particular function. And I've seen it because we have complaints whereby a person basically goes to a block or a basic function by the road, and they were robbed. And they were robbed of $3,000. You have a little function in your community. Do you really need $3,000 in your pocket? So you see, sometimes all we need to do is really let wisdom prevail. Let good sense prevail, and work with what you need. Now, even if you have that amount of cash that you need, it may still be a lump sum based on your purpose of business and so forth. Work with proper bags to secure them. Ensure that your bags can be zipped properly. Ladies in particular. Have seen instances where ladies are robbed, and sometimes you walk through town and the bags are open and you have to actually allow them, excuse me, probably you should close your bag. The purse is exposed, the phone is exposed. Just that openness attracts. Yeah. So, proper security. Now, in addition to that, be careful of your general environment. Some persons just wish to lime anywhere. You just choose appropriate events to be in. There are some events, the reality is, when you go to these events, who are the persons liming there. You have a general idea. Because based on certain events, you have an idea which event going to even have a fight. You know which event's going to have the most amount of drugs being sold there, the most amount of alcohol being sold there. You have music, drugs, alcohol. The reality is that is an avenue for a lot of rash and erratic behavior. Yes. Now, what do you expect when these kind of behaviors are in effect? Persons might just believe they could, take this person's property, take this person's chain, and people just have that mood at that given time. So sometimes the best thing might even just choose your events wisely.
Because there are individuals who may not be coming out for the entertainment struck part of it.
That's correct. Some persons come out strategically to look for targets. So you go to a function. Right now, guys have guns like rain. Unfortunately, it's real. It's sad, but it's real. Now, I say that not to make the people fearful, but to also make the people know how important it is to collaborate with the police. Yeah. Because persons are aware, they have information of what's happening in the community, and some of them may not give the information. Now,
is it the fear factor kicking in?
There are instances where it might be the fear factor based on the person's character, etc. There are some instances where persons just decide, hey, I'm not giving the police any information. Generally speaking, we get proper support. Generally speaking, we get support from the general public. So I must commend the general public on that. And we need it to continue. Because now that the crimes are stepping up a bit, now self will need proper cooperation. Now self will need to partner, have better relationship, and work hand in hand. Because the reality is what happens. Who is really affected? The community. The police can do everything on its own.
So true. So true.
We could only get as much done. Most of the successes that we have is through public help, the help of the community. That's how important the community is.
All right.
And we need the community to understand the significant role it's playing in the resolution process, the solving process. The community is critical. We admonish them for the support, but we need that support to continue. And we need them to stick on board with us as we fight this fight of crime.
All right.
Now, in addition, I think it's prudent that I mention there are certain streets, and this is not a matter of labeling people in a bad way.
Yeah.
However, it is important that the public know the risk that exists in certain places, because my interest is not about the occupants of these areas, how they feel. My purpose is ensuring that who utilize these areas are safe, the safety of the people. Now, Maloney Street, Fords, these are areas where religiously guys idle, they waste time, drink alcohol till they're drunk, smoke and use all sorts of drugs till they're out of their head. And when people of substance, people that care about themselves, pass through these areas, they're harassed. I've seen it with young ladies coming forward to make reports of being harassed and phones taken from them. Sexually harassed as well. So not just throwing words,